So, mate, this is going to go straight on YouTube. So, what I'm going to ask from you is just first of all, probably just introduce yourself, what's your Instagram handle, etc., etc. So, people, if you
Oh,
know,
I don't know, but I just know name there.
if not, I can put it in the, I'll put it in the comments below. So, obviously, in the comments there'll be Damo's Instagram handle, his Facebook as well, so you can all give him a follow once you watch this. But yeah, let's just dive straight into it, bro. So, first of all, obviously, introduce yourself. So, what's your name, where you're from, etc., etc.
Damo Fair, and I'm Southampton, Hythe, Southampton.
Yeah.
Mm.
And just to paint the picture, so in terms of like your physique, whereabouts are
Mm.
you now on your physique? Like tell them like obviously your weight, like your size, etc., etc.
Mine it has gone up. My weight is I'm 102 kilograms now,
Yeah,
so I am bulking, going up. And it's been quite a lean bulk, isn't it? I've managed to keep my abs.
yeah,
I'm doing quite like that, and I've gone from what was it, January the 1st. I was on 90, 93, something like that.
yeah, yeah. So well, you're 102 kilos in abs.
Yeah, yeah, doing well, man, doing well.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put his physique here in the video so you can see it. Um, but the question the questions I've got for you then is paint me a picture then of obviously before you was at the gym. Like
Yeah.
actually no, let's I was going to ask you the question of how long have you been clean for then?
I've been clean now, like February equals 1 year. So if we go to what we now, April, February, March, April. So it works out, yeah, 14 months, 15 months now.
15 months clean. And when you came out of addiction, what was you weighing roughly then?
Oh God. I think this rehab time round, I was very light. Like I bounced between the first rehab, I was like 69 kilograms.
Yeah,
And then I think this one, like I'd eaten a little bit more before I went back into rehab. So I was around, I'd say 75.
75. So
And for me, with how tall I am, and I've got like quite a frame. Do you know what I mean? So that's like extremely light for me, like
yeah,
really
yeah,
thin.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
all, I
so
was all ribs and bone, like
yeah. Yeah, so see if I can get a picture of I'll find a picture. See if I can get a picture of you. I'll put it in the video as well so you can see that. So in the space of what 15 months, you've gone from 75 kilos skin and bone to now 102 kilos of abs, which is around 27 kilos gained in a little bit less, well, a little bit over a year.
yeah, yeah. It's been mad, and I kind of had to swing from one way to the next because when I got out of rehab and that, and I hadn't on my diet, it wasn't good, but I hadn't eaten properly in years, so I just shoveled shit down. Do you know what I mean? I was eating, I got quite a belly, and I ballooned right up to about 106, I think it was, and then I
Yeah,
went on to start gym, start doing well, kind of just stripped the fat on that step I wanted and got down to 90. But
yeah,
even though it didn't take me that long, it was, I reckon, 2.5 months of just intense cardio and eating right. I went from, like I said, 106 or whatever it was, but a lot of it fat,
93.
down to 93, and then I went right to start building some muscle.
Yeah, yeah, which is what we have done. So let's just go back to Damo when he was a kid. So I'm going to really paint a picture story here, for, obviously for everyone watching. So, what was you like when you was at school, like when you was like a kid?
I didn't even finish school. I was a bit of a shit. Well, most people, I suppose, you are a little bit at that age, but where mum wasn't really bothered, my stepdad and didn't get along with both of them. The same with my dad and my stepmum didn't get along with both of them. It was kind of just my grandparents that were there for me. But I got into drugs at like quite a young age. Not the ones that obviously sent me off, like with the crack and the heroin and things, but I always loved my drugs. I always loved my pills, my coke, my ecstasy, my acid, my weed. I mean everything, and it kind of like just got worse and worse as I was getting older. Like I never finished the school. I got asked to leave there when I was 15. So it was kind of like I had no direction anyway. I didn't know what I wanted to do for work. I didn't know anything to do. I just enjoyed getting off my face and being like that, you know.
And what was your relationship with your mum and dad like? Obviously we spoke about that before, and you mentioned that they wasn't really there for you.
Sorry, the signal went a little bit at the start of that question, but I didn't
My
hear
bad.
that.
It's got a little bit shit Wi-Fi. So, what was your relationship with your mum and dad like? Because obviously we've spoken about this before, and I know they wasn't really there for you.
Mm. Not there for me. Didn't get along with either of them. Obviously, I've never known my mum and dad together. They broke up when I was like 2 or something like that. So there's always been my stepdad on my mum's side since I was about 4. And then on my dad's side, my stepmum was, I think it was about the same age, about 4 or 5, that she stepped into the picture. But I was not liked by either of them. And on my dad's side, he had other children. So so it was like my younger brother and sister, although they're like 10 and 12 years behind me and things like that, like they were the important ones on my dad's side. Like I never really got on with him anyway. So it was kind of like, yeah, almost in no man's land in terms of parental figures, you know. My nan and granddad were there for me and looked out for me, but a lot of the time it was just picking up the pieces, like because they are older, and yeah. And then if we fast forward a little bit, literally the day that I turned 16, I wanted to leave my mum's anyway, and she said, "Well, that's fine because I'm moving to Australia." So she moved to Australia when I was 16, and I went to stay with my dad. And then less than a year later, he said, "Oh, me and my partner are moving to France." So they moved abroad. So I kind of had like, even though they weren't there for me and everything else, like both my parents had left the country by the time I was 17. So it really did fall on my nan and granddad and to help me with whatever needed helping with. But at that point, I'd had a partner and started my journey with living with a, do you know what I mean, my partner, and then it wasn't long after that that I had my Harry. So yes,
Did it bother you in any way, or did it affect you in any way when obviously it was like you was at your mum's for a little bit, and she went, and then your dad went a year later?
I think that was the last time, apart from obviously like now, where I have nothing to do with them now either. Like that was my happiest time because I didn't like my mum, didn't get on with her, didn't like my stepdad, didn't get on with him, didn't like my dad, didn't like my stepmum. So then being out of the country with like nigh on zero contact, I felt that it done me good. Like, so I almost, in a way, I did start to settle a little bit. As much as I loved the drugs and things, I did go into work. I literally did have a partner at the time. I did start to do something with my life off my own back, you know. But yeah.
So obviously leading up to you was obviously 17. You had the sesh life. What was you doing leading up to obviously the first time you went down the darker route, so the crack and heroin, for example? What was you doing prior to that?
And see, again, I tried the crack and the heroin even when I was at school. So it wasn't like that I hadn't tried it. I just didn't enjoy it. Like it was like you said, the sesh life. It was the enjoying it, the partying, the music, the things like that. So it was. I don't know. I guess it's almost like it was on timing, like and things like that. Like the other life, like the sesh life of working and everything. That's what excited me more. And it wasn't until a couple of years later that I got with another woman. Obviously, me and my boy's mum had split up a long time, and like, I was still being a good dad. But I met another woman, and we kind of enjoyed the sex life together a bit. But then the other drug crept in, the crack and the heroin and things like that. And then once we'd done it, I thoroughly enjoyed it that time when I was in my younger 20s, and that was it. Then that was like a train starting that just couldn't stop, you know.
Yeah, can you remember the exact time you got back into it and like got hooked onto it?
I'd say with me because I'm a kind of like quite. I've got quite an addictive personality anyway. With just kind of anything. From the first time I took it again, like the minute that I got with that person, from that day one of doing it, which was about I think 2 months into the relationship, that was it. I never put it down then. It was like all day, every day, like and yeah, there was no escaping it. Like I loved it then. I loved the buzz of the crack and the down of the heroin. Like so, it was kind of yeah from the off from doing it that time round.
Yeah. So what do you prefer to the crack or the heroin? Obviously, back then.
The heroin for me,
Yeah.
like as much as like crack is fun, and like every addict that does both enjoys both. Every devil's got their thing. Do you know what I mean? Like even through other drugs, everyone's got one that they like. And for me, it was always the heroin. I had a great buzz off the crack and things like that, but the heroin always was just like that big cuddle that you don't think about your problems. Whereas crack's the other way around. You overthink all of your problems, your anxiety, your heart rate, like everything. You're on the go. You fucking commit crime. You're going mad. Whereas I enjoyed the more at peace. Like even if I was led on the floor, or there's videos of me stood there looking like a drunk man who's like kind of asleep on his feet, kind of thing. Like to me, I wasn't like that, feeling like that. It was like I was led down somewhere, no light, no, do you know what I mean? No horrible feelings, no nothing. It's like it almost just blocked everything out. Like, and that's what I think the reason I loved it, and it took me so long to get off it because you don't think about your problems. You only have one problem on it, and that's do I have this drug? Once you've got it, it's great. Then when it runs out, you don't think about anyone else's feelings. You don't think about bills. You don't think about food, water, where I'm staying tonight, whether I've got a roof over my head, nothing. Like, it's I just need heroin. Like so, it's like it's a very bad life, but it's a very simple one. Like you get in debt, you don't care. You hurt yourself, but you don't go to the hospital because you don't feel it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like everything that you can think that the average or normal person stresses or just normal life that they go through every day. Someone who's in that world, there's one thing on their mind. They don't care what they look like. You don't care what you smell like. You don't care if your teeth are okay. You don't care if you're dressed okay. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You're not hungry. You're not thirsty. You're not anything. It is just all about that drug. Like it really is. Like it consumes you. And for me, I always say as well, it consumes you that much that it runs your body. Like as much as I have quite a good immune system overall, man. Like I never got, apart from the illness, the withdrawal symptoms, like which I had bad. As soon as I took the drug, like everyone else around you can be ill. Everyone else can be poorly or cold or just things like that. Like I haven't for 20 years. Like I just haven't been ill. I just don't get ill. It's like it puts you in a bubble. Like and like I think in a weird way that kind of helped me with my brain accident as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that it was that consumed and I was that relaxed and things like that when I got run over. Like, although I had the brain bleeds and things like that, overall, I don't think it went as bad as it probably should have, you know? Like, so many factors to it in there. Sometimes I get running away with what I'm saying compared to what the question is you've asked. But,
Okay.
like,
No, it's good. It's good. You can carry on.
I will say, though, I am now figuring out the one I'm left, okay?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
am cool, but it's, yeah.
The second question I've got then is how long was you actually on crack and heroin or addicted to crack and heroin for, would you say then?
I'd say the bad part was 13 years.
13 years.
13 years
Yeah.
from pretty much start to finish. Like, and I did have multiple times trying to give it up. It was one of them. Like, obviously, not for the first 7 or 8. You don't even almost realise where you are, what you're kind of got yourself into. But then you are going to have days where you almost see the light, and you're like, "What am I doing?" but every time I managed to get to about 4 or 5 days, the withdrawal symptoms are just starting to ease off just a little bit. I'd never done it like through and through, and not only that, every time I tried it, I was either taking every type of prescription painkiller that you can get, plus drinking like a litre of whiskey a day on top of the painkillers just to numb myself out. And I just always got to the 4 or 5 days, and it was either that I'd had enough of the withdrawal symptoms, or that I think the main reason was that I just still loved the drug. I still didn't want to feel things, and you start to get your feelings back, your smelling back, your touch back, your some people's eyesight goes a bit weird and things like that as they're doing it. But me personally, it wasn't the eyesight as such, but it's on the list of things that you kind of regain. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah, through and through, it controls everything, and it's the more now that I'm clean and I look at it, like I'm really, really happy in the place that I am now compared to what I was. You know?
You're in a fucking great position now, mate. I must say. Also, it's good as well because we can hop on a call and we can talk about this, and there might be someone out there that watches this video that relates to this. And so,
Yeah.
speak to someone like you who's been through this before. It's always going to be a sign of hope, whether it's just whether it could be a fucking weed addiction, right? Someone who's obviously been an addict for 13 years on crack and heroin. If you can get into the position where you are now, imagine the how many people that can inspire going through a similar journey that's going to look up to you, if that makes sense.
I almost enjoy talking about it quite a lot of the time. Not I feel bad about where I was, but like it just shows you when you put your mind to it, when you literally focus in on what you want to do, and like almost like it used to be with me with the drug. Now with me with the weight training, with the eating, with all the things like that, like there's nothing else that can bother me. Like this is what I'm doing. Not that I don't say care what else faces me, but that's my thing. Like, do you know what I mean? That's my thing, and I'm focused on it, and that's I think how I've done so well in so quick in the results and the kind of transformation that has happened. Like,
A bit of a personal one. Obviously, for you, it says you mentioned a lot that you was running away from something or you was numbing the
yeah,
pain. What was you numbing specifically?
it's almost. I think that like the differences that I saw when I was younger, like in having the brothers and sisters that were spoiled rotten, that got what they want from my dad and my stepmom, whereas I had Christmases and birthdays where I got nothing. Like things like that you remember, as much as it may not have hurt me as much back then because you believe whatever lies you're being told, or like do you know what I mean? You kind of go past it, but now that I'm older and I actually sit down with therapists and things like that, which I had to do, it was like all of these are traumatizing things to happen for someone who is only like 10 or 11, and suddenly they've got other siblings, and that's like how I felt on the dad's side. And then on the mum's side, my mum got with someone that doesn't like kids, that doesn't want kids, and her kid was basically like her responsibility. So I was just not wanted, yet I had to live in the same house as someone who done their life, and I wasn't allowed to interrupt that in any way, and my mum had to deal with me and do everything for me. That's not how a family should work. Do you know what I mean? And it's more I understand it again more that I'm older, that I'm in a family with stepchildren and things like that, and it's like those things mean a lot to me because I know how you may not realize it at that age, but you really do see everything. Like you really do see and hear everything. So
Yeah, of course, it's a very good point. So your subconscious brain. So you ever meet a lot of people where they act in a certain way. They most probably act like that because of their parents, and that's what they've been raised with. But they don't realize that. So most of your subconscious brain, the way you act about it and realizing, is molded from about the ages from 0 to about 12 or 11.
yeah, the therapist
So
is suppressing feelings and emotions.
that's obviously because that's how your subconscious brain was molded from a child. Well, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
never realize that until you got told by your therapist.
No, that's what I mean. Like even like, I used to almost argue a little bit with the therapist because they'd let me tell my story and then tell me what they think in terms of clinical terms and what I've got and things. And it's like I used to argue with it because I think it was just disbelief. Like it's like no, I'm okay still, rather than just accepting that okay, maybe some of my behaviours and some of the ways that I am, which even not so much, but like now and then I do have to be like not reminded, but spoke to by my partner and say, look, like, come on, think about it. Like if you've kind of done that for your nipper or whatever like that, you don't have to do it for all the rest, but the offer should be almost there. Do you know what I mean? You're not you like not making my son feel like you're more special than the others, and then making the others feel like you're included just as much. You know, so it's like trying to right the wrongs that I had when I was younger and not let myself almost slip into patterns of behaviour that you almost half the time can't help because you've run that way for so many years that it's yeah, recognizing your own faults, isn't it, in a way? Like
Yeah, I always say if you can you can look at every emotion from an outside point of view, like a bird's eye point of view. It's a lot easier than to assess why you felt like the way that way, and then you can obviously then make a better decision moving forward of how you're going to react in that certain situation.
yeah, yeah,
The question I've got then is so obviously every drug addict has like a point where they're done. Like you have the point, you're done. Right? It's
yeah.
been 17 or it's been 14, 15 months. What was that like sticking point where it was like, I'm done?
But what with the drugs and things, like
Yeah. You obviously
for
there must
me,
have been something
mate,
that clicked.
for me, it was my daughter being born. Like I've got a 15-year-old son, my one, and it's like my partner now. I'd always said that I'd wanted another child to possibly have a girl of my own, and bless her, she had enough children, but she, even me as an addict, this happened. Like she had got pregnant and my daughter was on the way, and I was still on that downhill path. Like I said, even when I went to go watch my daughter being born, I wasn't allowed in the hospital. I'd stolen a car to even get to the hospital. Like I'd snuck in and basically kicked out, and I was outside smoking fucking drugs literally as my daughter was born. So it was like a kind of a negative start, but like cogs started moving, you know, like it was like I've asked for another child, and it's something that I want. There's like, and I used to be and am now like a good dad to my son before I went right off on that bad path. He used to like stick to my hip. Do you know what I mean? He was like proper dad's boy. So Chloe being born, it just the minute that she was born, that was it. I was asking my care team to do with my brain injury and stuff like that. Right, I need to go to rehab. I've attempted it on my own out here so many times. It's not working. You're saying, what do I need to get back to even good health, let alone with all the things that I had wrong with me through the brain accident and yeah, kind of like it may have took. I think it was when I first went to rehab. I think she was May, June, July. I think she was only like 4 months old on the first time, and I went to London, went to the rehab. After a couple of weeks, thought, yeah, I'm doing great, I'm clean, signed out, yep, done. And that was the worst thing I could have done because within days I was straight back on it. So it was like, right, it was an attempt though. And then they went, right, we tried putting you in a standard rehab. It didn't work because of your brain injuries. We've now managed to get either the fund, not the funding, but like the placement in a special rehab for people with brain injuries, but paired with addiction. So it's anyone who has the injuries like I had, but also still an addict regardless of their injuries. And that transformed me. TRU, Transitional Rehabilitation Unit in Liverpool. Like it was February, so it worked out that Chloe was um, just just coming up to a year, I think, when I started that one. Um, and yeah, it was kind of like it was different though. It was a different vibe there. It was like just the settlement. Like it was really spot on. They didn't make me feel like I was back in prison, that I could go from one room to the next and then a 12-foot garden. That was it. Whereas this one, I was out within a week getting my throat tattooed, which is I've always loved the tattoos and things. I was going to the gym like every other day with the physio. I was like picking my food and going to the cinema, integrating back into society as you're feeling normal and fresh and getting a haircut and going to, do you know what I mean? Like all of the nice things that you start to care about yourself, they proper catered for that there. And I ended up staying at that one. I think it was 5 weeks rather than just the two. And yeah, and then that was just over a year ago now, and it was just it was just like I was done. Like everything, I was on such a path up. Then there was it was me saying, right, I'm going to stay twice as long, if not more, than I did in the first rehab. I like it here. I find it comfortable. As much as it was harder, like for my partner and that, with my baby girl and the other children on her own, it was like the belief that no, if I wasn't forced to go to rehab both times. It was me that chose it. It was me that got in the car, went the first one. Yeah, I may have left early and fucked it up, but it was I classed it as an experience. Yeah, I went straight back onto the drugs, but I didn't love them. There was a different feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, those cogs were still moving. It was like I didn't enjoy it anymore. I didn't love it anymore, and I wanted to get out of it. So from the minute that I went to Liverpool, got in the car of my own accord, a lot of people thought again, I don't think he's doing it. Like he's gonna not do it this time. Got in the car, went, and yeah, it's kind of just been all uphill since that. Like, and I done it cold turkey. I didn't have methadone, I didn't have Subutex, I didn't have anything else. I literally rattled it out cold turkey, laughed my way through the withdrawal, which was again quite a new thing for me. In the past, like I said, I was either drinking, taking loads of medication, trying to numb out everything and not wanting to feel it. Whereas this time, I felt like I have to feel every part of this. I have to have the cold sweats, have the shakes with the wetting yourself, or like all of the things that happen like intensely. I kind of laughed my way through it. Even in rehab, they thought it was kind of a first time. Normally, people are in bed a week or two. They can't get out. They don't eat. They don't go to the toilet. They don't look after themselves because you're like your body's almost shutting down, trying to repair itself. Like, whereas I was the total opposite. I was out walking around, wanting to do things, like wanting to start the gym, wanting to go to the tattooist. Like, it was like a new lease of life. Like,
And do you reckon it's because you spent every time you tried doing it before, you was on something? Who's you
yeah,
literally doing like the polar opposite?
I was still chasing something or hiding something else. Whereas this time it was kind of just embrace it. And it was like I had elastic bands around me before, and no matter how good you got or how far away from that drug and that feeling, you always like get reverted back, pinged back to it. Whereas this time, from the moment I got there, it was like I cut the bands, and there was no. I just felt no pressure. I felt no like oh my, not like oh my god, this has to happen, or I'm going to lose my baby girl and my partner and like things like that. It was just I kind of had one thing on my mind. I was going one way, and that is up, and like there was nothing that was going to stop me. So it was kind of like I think a lot of it's mindset. It's where you place yourself in your mind and how you. Because I didn't have it easy in there when I was in rehab. There's people that died that I knew. So like I found out the news when I was in there, and I was kind of gutted about a few of them. Like I had people unwell. Like it was just across the board. There was like a lot of things going on. But I handled it all really well. Like I just felt like my brain was just ticking like different, like just a different. Oh, it's hard to find the words sometimes. It's almost like one of them where it's such an intense feeling, you almost can't explain it. You need somebody else to feel it. Um,
Is it like I don't know, it's kind of like having your daughter and your family kind of shed a light. They're like secretly they was there with you, pushing you.
Massively, like I spoke to her every day. and got to see my daughter every day. I was in tears a lot of the time, most days, but like almost tears for what I'd done and that I wasn't clean and there and had a good birth with Natalie and things like that. Do you know what I mean? The tears were like for that side of it, but at the same time, I think just excitement at getting to be a dad again, getting to. I made my daughter a promise, like when she was born, which is you will never remember me a heroin addict. And so again, I know the first, like I said, for the first year, she's never going to remember anyway. But like from the age that you start getting memories, it's going to be of having a good dad. It's going to have a dad who was always there, that cared, that loved her. That do you know what I mean? Things like that, and it makes me feel proud that I'm keeping that promise. Like that's a big thing to me.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And that's just the whole story, man. Just gives me goosebumps. But then okay, obviously I'm just gonna bring up about your obviously your lovely partner now. What do you reckon the reason was? Obviously, she stayed with you when you came at the rehab the first time, and then she's with you now, and it's all happy days. But what do you reckon was the main reason why she stayed with you when you came out and you was back and forth, if that makes sense?
She even stayed with me as well, bro. Like we've been together nearly 5 years, and I had my accident 5 years ago. So just after I got run over, we were briefly together like 7 or 8 years ago. But I said I didn't want a girlfriend. I was due in prison. I was bad on the drugs, so I kind of just walked out and kind of broke her heart. Um, and then carried on with my drugs, got run over, and then because she had me blocked and didn't talk to me because I'd obviously hurt her. And then the minute that she found that I'd been run over and that I was quite a possibility that I was going to die, she'd unblocked me, got in touch with my family, and wanted to find out if I was all right. And then when I signed myself out of hospital after I woke up from a coma, and managed to get a phone, like I'd seen that she unblocked me and sent me a message, and I sent her a message, and then within 2 weeks, might have even been a week actually, like I was over with her, staying with her, and like we were kind of together. And but I'd lied and said that I was clean off the drugs now, and then like it kind of slipped back in that she could see that I was lying, and she stood by me through like 4 years of me still on the drugs, still like not being allowed to stay around, not being allowed to spend all my time with her. This is before my Chloe. Um, and see the children that she's got and things like that. Because I've known them all for years. We've known each other, so like she kind of stood by me while I was still on that really downhill path. Like still having some belief that I will fix it, I will fix it, and then yeah, like I said, because I'd had the brain injury and things, like it may have taken a few years for them to kick in and like all the things that happen in the background trying to help. Um, and then yeah, like I said, I went to rehab, may have fucked it up and come out, but like she's a positive person, she's a happy person. Just me going, me trying is you're trying. Like nobody ever does it first time. It's one of them drugs. Look at the percent rate of people getting off it. It don't happen. Like it's ridiculously low. Like when you kind of on it and you're there, even the people that do get off it, they're on medication. Like there's such a small percentage, it's something like 1%, or it might be like 1.5% of people get off it, and of them 1.5%, 1% of them are on medication. So
And
sorry.
what was people's reaction when you came out of rehab the second time, and what is their reaction now? Obviously, 14 months in, now obviously you're a fucking unit.
Yeah, that's it. It was kind of like brilliant. You come out of rehab, you're looking healthy, you're looking great, but 99.9% of all people went, you tried it once, you fucked it. You're gonna go back on it. Like it's one of them. Like it's one of those people just did not believe I've been on it that long. I'm that well known for the drug was everything to me. It was kind of like no, it's gonna happen. And then obviously as things have kicked in and further time gone on, some people's minds started to change. Not fully though. It's one of those like it's only been since I bypassed a year of being clean that I'd say the majority of people, even those in the drug world or those out of it, still were like, yeah, well, we'll see. But then once I bypassed a year, it's like it's kind of shut everyone else up because obviously gym has become my addiction. Looking after myself and doing better, get bigger, more toned, something that I enjoy just as much. And now I'd say at least once, if not twice a week, through someone that I know, or even random people that I don't know that speak to someone that I know and say, I cannot believe the fucking size of him. Like literally, it is mad that the last time I see him, just over a year ago, like he was the person you see outside the shop that can't even walk in a straight line, can't even stand up straight, can't even talk to you. Like, and now fucking look at him, he's fucking massive. Like he's doing all right. So it is, it is a nice thing.
Yeah,
It
how's
is.
it? How has it changed your life personally? Just obviously being 14 months like sober and getting big and looking good. How's that really changed your life personally?
I'd say one, it's changed because I don't track the days. Once I've gone past a year and gym had become like the thing that I love the most, I track how long I've been in the gym or how long I've been on like a bolting phase or a cutting phase or the training or this or the calories that extra. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. Like I think just generally like all thoughts. Like I don't, as much as I didn't have thoughts about say doing it before, there was always still that it was there. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I may be 9 months, excuse me, or 10 months or whatever, right up to that point, but it just faded out. Like literally, once I'd started the gym and focusing on myself and doing things like that, it's more the topic is when people talk about me, it's to do with my gym progress, how big, how toned, how like focused you are on bettering yourself rather than how long I've been clean. So in terms of coming from other places, it's like that. The same as with me and how I feel like about that. I don't think about it. I don't feel like about drugs like they're nothing to me now. It's like I really enjoy what I'm doing with the gym. Like and that's it, transferring your addiction from one thing to another. I think that is the only way to stay clean, sober, eating healthy, not gambling, not, do you know what I mean? All of the bad habits that do become addictions, you need to find something that you love and that you can put your time into, like you used to, your drug, your booze, your gambling, all of those things, you know? Like,
Yeah, and I can to an extent relate to that. Where obviously I've got quite a mixed personality, so if you we bounce off each other because we're very hyper focused into the
yeah,
gym.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's good and yeah, it's just your story in general, mate. It's just it's very up to time and time again. It's very inspiring just to see where you are now and how long have you been training for? Is it around 7 months?
Yeah, well, it's about 7 months. I think it was the end of August, start of September. I went, right, I need to strip fat. And that was up till January the 1st. I was just doing the stripping of the fat, intense cardio, eating healthy. And then, yeah, started January to now, obviously been bulking and putting on the muscle. So
Yeah.
works out about 7 months, doesn't it?
7 months
Seven,
and 102 kilos in lean. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Going
yeah,
well,
no,
man.
yeah. First of all, I really appreciate your time. That should be that.
Yeah,
That was over a half an hour. Cool. I knew you would have a good chat and have a good waffle on. So
yeah, always do. I enjoy, like I said, as much as I don't think about it in the bad. I'm quite open, as we've spoken a few times before. I'm quite open about who I was.
yeah,
Like, don't just mean
that's good though
to
because sorry to
just
interrupt you. Is you've accepted that. Once you accept it, you can talk about it.
yeah, yeah. I'm happy to talk about it. It makes me feel almost proud of it. Not like I've been, well, as people like to say to us, isn't it? Thinking that I've been doing this a few years now with like how I am looking and the size and things like that. It's like it's almost gives me a little smile when you go, well, actually, no, he's only been doing it 6, 7 months, and like he'll tell you, it
Yeah,
used to
their
be a
face are like,
smackhead. And like, it blows people away. They're like,
yeah,
holy. So it really is like that thing they say in it, partly in the kitchen, partly in the gym, partly in the mind, the mindset. The mindset really does like put you on a whole different level. Like,
and it's all mindset. But thank you very much for obviously taking the time to come on this call and talking about your story. What
no
I'll do is
problem.
I'll put Damo's Instagram, Facebook in the
Yeah,
comments.
yeah.
I'll put my Instagram just in case you want to follow me as well.
And TikTok as well.
TikTok as well. I'll put it all in the comments. If you got to the end of this video, thank you very much.
Questions or anything again, mate, just let me know. Quite happy to talk again and fucking go through it. It's a nice thing. I like it. It's a nice direction. It kind of fits exactly with how I feel about how I'm going. You know, like if I can inspire people or change someone to or start to make them think that they can change and do it, then that's a blessing, isn't it? That's a good thing.
That's it, mate. And I'm sure I'm sure I'll find a podcast one day for us to both be on. You can talk about your story.
Yeah,
Maybe I can start my own one.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for dedicating the time to hop on the call. Obviously, if you want to look at all the socials, put in the comments below. If you got to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in a bit.